This is the BionX S-350DX, and that's actually kind of the new naming convention for BionX kits. This used to be like the SL350, DT, XL, and to make it easy to understand, S, it's the second generation of their motors. They're 2 pounds lighter than the old ones that had kind of the ring shape. These ones have this nice like flared fin going on, so they're a little bit lighter. 350 is how powerful the motor is. It's 350 watts. It's a gearless design, so it's really quiet and efficient, and it even has regenerative braking and regen modes, 4 of them. So that's pretty cool. And the DX stands for D, downtube. And that's what kind of battery we're looking at right here. And X, extra large capacity. So this is a 48 volt at 8.8 amp hours using lithium, manganese, cobalt. So this is really high quality cells, 18650 cells like you'd have in electric cars. They last through a lot of charge cycles, and they're pretty stable. And this system's actually designed to make them more stable. They've got a deep sleep cutoff thing that, if you haven't turned the bike on for a couple months, it automatically shuts everything down. So there's just no power loss, and that keeps the battery, it improves the longevity of the chemistry, right? Because with lithium batteries, if you let them sit too long and then they get all the way drained out, that can actually harm the battery. So this is smart enough to kind of cut it off. And after 2 weeks, if this is down to 10% of its battery, it'll shut off then as well. So it's kind of neat. It's a smart system designed to take care of your stuff longer. This battery pack is really cool because, of course, it can be mounted to the down tube. And in this case, we've got the cat trike, right? And so you're kind of distributing the weight up towards the front, and then there's the motor at the back. It's pretty graceful in that sense. This can mount on normal bikes as well, just on like the water bottle mounting points, and you can work with your local bike shop to get one installed. In this case, we've put the display right here in the center, which is, it's fairly accessible, but they've also got this breakout box, right? So there's the plus and the minus, and that helps you change different levels of pedal assist. There are 4, or down to 4 levels of regen. And then there's this little throttle, which is cool. So it's a good system, and it's, again, with a bike like this, if you're riding, you don't have to take your hand off and try to reach up to the console. I think they've done a great job on this. It's a kit that's on a bunch of bikes that I've tried out, but it's neat to see it on a recumbent. This cat trike is pretty sweet. It's got this little headrest up here, the nice flag, 26-inch wheel in the back, so it's a little bit larger, and that gives you more, a larger point of traction, right? So the wheel is like, it's not quite as, extreme, the angle, it's a little bit flatter, and that's going to feel better going over bumps and give you good traction. And since this is a hub motor design, and that's where all your power is being exerted from the motor, it's awesome to see that in the rear. The front tires are a little bit more traditional, like 20 inches. We've got mechanical disc brakes on the left and the right. There's like Avid levers right here. This one has the regenerative braking sensor, that's right there. So when you pull this, there's a symbol that lights up on the display that says G, and that stands for generate, so you can fill your battery back up. I think I mentioned the battery's removable, and that's cool because it makes the system overall lighter, and you can store that inside or somewhere where there aren't extreme temperatures, because that's also hard on lithium batteries. There are 30 speeds with these SRAM levers. So on the left, you do this one, and it changes from 1 of 3 rings in the front. The one on the right goes from 1 of 10 different cogs in the rear. SRAM X9, like some carbon fiber accents on this thing. And of course the chain going all the way through. That's one of the things I was curious about. You're pedaling way up at the front, and then the torque sensor for pedal assist is here in the hub on the rear. And so it's maybe not quite as responsive as a bike with a shorter chain, because the chain, it's a lot longer, and there's a little bit more play in between the front and the rear. But it's not too bad, it gets the job done, and it's neat to see a recumbent electric trike like this. And again, you've got the throttle to maybe get yourself started or whatever. Pretty relaxed position, kind of adjustable seat here with that mesh weave. Yeah, nice little aluminum chain guard here, or chain ring protector, so it keeps the teeth in good shape. These pedals are cool. They've got like clip-ins on one side and then just regular on the other. Little mirror action going on. And the other neat thing about this system is that, you know, the cables can actually reach. You can set it up on a bike like this where it might have to go a little further. And it's modular, so you can disconnect this if you need to take the wheel off for service or something like that, or replacement, you know, if you need to replace some of the parts. BionX's done a pretty good job. They've been around since like 2000, and then part of the Magna group in around 2008. Decent warranty on this thing. Because this is a gearless motor, means there's like magnets in there, and when the wheel is spinning, if the system's completely off, which I'm gonna do, turn this off, it has a little bit of drag, and that's what creates like the regen braking. And so, you know, that's sort of a plus and a minus. If your battery completely ran out, this is what it'd be like to try to coast. So, you know, not completely freewheeling, but not terrible. That's kind of the story with any gearless hub motor like this. And yeah, the other neat thing is that the display, you wake it up by pressing either one of the top two buttons, and you can wire lights into this thing, and then you can activate them by holding on to that power button for a second. So I just shut it off, but you get the idea. It's neat that this system is open like that, and you can actually get your lights working and have everything running off that central battery. It's just cool. I like when they open it up like that. So why don't I hop on this thing, do like a quick test ride. The system is really quiet, but I'm gonna hold the camera back there and try and give you some idea of what's going on. So to get on this thing, you kind of, you know, stand over it like this, put your hand on one of the wheels, like that, and lower yourself into position. I'm gonna go slow on this test ride, but top speed's about 20 miles per hour on these kits, and you should wear a helmet. I left mine inside. Oh, it's back there. I'm gonna go get my helmet. Let's do this. Let's see, and I'm changing, giving myself 4 levels. Woo! There we go. Grab the helmet for safety. Okay, now we're ready to rock and roll. So let's see. The other thing about this is with the BionX system, you have to get going to about 2 miles per hour, or just a couple, like one pedal stroke before the throttle kicks in. There we go. Pretty sweet. Yeah, there we go. Woo! So there you go. That's the BionX S-350 DX kit that you can have installed on a bunch of different bikes. Again, this one, the recumbent cat trike, pretty cool. For the full written review on this, more specs and comments and stuff, I'll see you back at ElectricBikeReview.com.